just so you know, I have a new editor. My 9-year-old has generously offered to help edit my videos for me. So if you see any commentary, that would be my 9-year-old, my eldest child, who you can see in the video where we're talking about Maximum Ride. Julian's going to do some of that because Julian is supportive and awesome, and I'm excited to see what they do for my videos. Good morning. It is September 21st, 2020 at 7:32 in the morning. Annie and I are here together. We had a nice quiet weekend for some values of quiet. My house is never really quiet, and it's really weird and discomforting when it is quiet because generally it means something's going wrong and you have to find it. If the cats aren't yowling somewhere, they're probably eating the roll of paper towels. If the dogs are being quiet instead of snorting around and making noise, they probably got into the trash. If the kids are being quiet, God only knows. They probably invaded a country or something. These little geniuses getting up to whatever they're doing. So, but it was quiet in as much as you can expect my house to be quiet. I really wanted to work this weekend, or at least work on editing that video I was telling you about yesterday, but I just decided to do nothing. All I did yesterday was play Among Us with my kids. It's a game, it's a couple years old now, but it suddenly blew up in popularity. One of my kids explained to me that it was made by a company that made another game. I think it's called Henry Stickmin or something. Henry Stickmin. And Henry Stickmin is really popular. I think that game, I suspect if my kids were telling me about it, then it's probably one of those games that came up in the younger generation online via like YouTube reviews and stuff. That's how they tend to find games that go viral like that. So that's kind of how we ended up with FNAF and Bendy and Cuphead and all that. You know, they kind of go viral on YouTube. We also ended up with some weirder ones like Hello Neighbor and Baldi's Basics. So this company made Henry Stickmin apparently, and I think that they may have put Among Us figurines into the Henry Stickmin game. This is my understanding based on what my kids told me. And so since Henry Stickmin is really popular, linking it to their older game drew attention to it. And then it turns out that this game Among Us is just really, really good. And so all it needed was more eyes on it, and it took off like crazy. I've been seeing it freaking everywhere. It was like one day I hadn't heard of it, and the next day every single link on Reddit was an Among Us joke. So I played Among Us this weekend, and that's pretty much it. I only play Among Us with my family. We have a lot of gamers, so you can have 10 players on a server in Among Us, and yesterday we had 6 going, and we didn't have a full complement. We could have up to 7, and that's all just like really close family, so that's like 5 people in the house and then family at 2 other houses, and I think we could probably pull off more than that. But what's so fun about it is that we play Among Us while we have Discord going. And so we can talk throughout the whole game, and we just lie to each other. We lie to each other constantly. Like whoever is the impostor is usually blaming other people. But if that's too obvious, then the impostor might just sort of sarcastically be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the impostor," and it makes it so that a lot of the game is just what you're saying to each other, the intonation and the inflection. And so since there are only 3 maps in Among Us, and the premise is reasonably simple, you would think it wouldn't have a ton of replayability, but adding in this element of talking and lying to each other makes it like it's a lot like Werewolf, the game Werewolf, and it feels more like a board game, really. So in Among Us, what you do, sorry, I have cat hair on my face again. Always cat hair. So what you do in Among Us is you've got all these crewmates, and you have to try and repair your spaceship, your airship, or your dropship, or something like that, because there's been a problem. But the thing is that one of you is an imposter, and you don't know who. And I think you're like an alien. I think you're like an alien imposter, because the way that you can kill some people is pretty alien-y. But see, even though this game is theoretically gory, because like when I'm playing against my kids and I'm the imposter, I tear them in half. I tear my children in half. But it's not, the art style is really, really, it's like, you remember those old Flash games? Like, oh gosh, what does it remind me of? It definitely reminds me just of old Flash games, with the little, like, hand-drawn sprites and the flat backgrounds and stuff. So even when it's, like, gory, it's gory in that way. And so I don't feel too bad tearing my children in half. It's a lot of fun. It was a great way to spend the weekend. But today, back to work. This romance novel, I'm so sick of it. It's killing me. I really hope my focus is better today. When I was trying to focus it on it the last few days, it was just horrible. I mean, my attention span, man, not good. But that's my goal for the week. I'd still really like to finish the book by Friday. And if I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to have to pull some longer hours. But I hope I can do it. I feel better today than I did last week, so we'll see. I mean, I've already been going for a while. It's 7:38 now. And I got up a couple hours ago. I think I got up actually like 4:30. But it wasn't like how I was getting up super early before because I couldn't sleep, because I was like vibrating from caffeine and nicotine. It's more like my dreams were just really, really rich and like very intense, like not sort of stressful. And so by the time I woke up at 4:30, I'm like, I could definitely go back to sleep. But if I do, I'm just going to keep having these weird ass dreams, and I'm sick of it. I went to bed really early last night. I fell asleep at like 6:30. And so I got way more than enough sleep. It's funny because I laid down last night and I put on my meditation app, and it was like, today we're going to meditate about forgiveness. Forgiveness for ourselves, forgiveness for others, and forgiveness for the world. And then like the next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's 4:30 in the morning. I didn't mean to go to bed that early. I feel pretty good though. So optimistic about getting some work done. I should probably get on that. Try to have a good week. I'm going to try to have a good week too. I'll talk to you tomorrow.